We are back and it's time for another tour video. And this one here is not lacking any of the Barndominium feels. We are at the Tower Ranch Barndominium. We've got a beautiful burnished slate Barndominium, and it kind of matches our Hilltop Barndominium that we did. But this one here is a full-blown 2-story. Of course, the Hilltop was 2, but this one was a little more sized appropriately. Now, we don't have a living square footage upstairs, but it does have plenty of size when it comes to storage space and everything that we've got going on. Overall, on our main building footprint, we've got approximately 77 by 40 foot. When we're building custom like this, it doesn't have to be exactly 80 foot or, whatever, but as you're breaking up your beams and stuff like that, it is better to kind of stay on like a 20-foot increment. But because these are weld up steel frame buildings, we can make them to whatever custom size.
So in this home, we have 1,200 square foot of living space that has 2 bedrooms, 2.5 bath. We have 1,200 square foot of upper storage space that I guess could be converted into additional living at some point if they needed the extra space. And then we have a large shop. It's 1,900 square foot of shop.
Yeah, so as we move into some of the layout here, it's got a beautiful entry door, which is a little bit more of a contemporary design, and it opens up into our main shared living area where you have the living room combined with our kitchen, which is kind of a common setup. And we also have the fireplace, which helps sort of warm things up, but you're not going to have a problem with the warmer feels in this build because we've got a lot more darker colors throughout. So getting away from white walls and just gray cabinets, right?
Right.
And looking through the living area, we have the stained concrete floors.
Yes, it's a walnut stain, so it's got all the brown tones to it. That's real pretty.
Yeah, and one of the things that you're going to notice is working off of that wood tone that's going on through here, which is, again, keeping the warmer tones as far as going with a little bit darker colors. Makes it a little more mysterious, right? It's not all that white and gray typical.
White and bright, yeah.
The layout obviously is open to our kitchen. It's just a nice open concept with the pantry in the corner, sink with the window over it, plenty of natural light coming in, allowing all of that view out into the beautiful acreage out here, which I think is over 100 acres on this property. Now, all through the downstairs, we're maintaining a 9-foot ceiling, and we've got the same paint colors throughout.
Yes, so the wall and the ceilings are an African gray by Sherwin-Williams, and then they did a cyberspace on the trim and doors.
The doors themselves are actually a stain grade, which matches all of our stain throughout on the cabinets as well. And in this case, because we do have a little bit warmer colors, our client went with the black receptacles as well as the plate covers.
Okay, so the main focal point in this space is going to be this large island. It's like a black and white granite. It's called Black Pearl. And this island has got tons of things happening. It's got lots of storage. It's got lots of drawers. It's got a fun little cabinet that's got places for your cookie sheets and some of your different baking pans and things like that. There's a lot of cool spaces, and there's actually a place for some seating also. Whenever
you're trying to incorporate cabinet space on both sides of your island, you are going to usually have a pretty large countertop space. You got to make it a little bit excess.
Yeah, so you basically have storage all the way around this island, so it's pretty neat.
So because we have such a large countertop here, we actually added a leg as well to help add a little bit more stability, because I think it was hanging about 16 to 18 inches over, at least on the one side. Now, that's nice to have the cabinet space, but at the same time, you don't want to have some other type of an event happen by not having the additional support that you need. The island granite is actually St. Lucia. It's got all the blacks and white tones in it, and so it kind of ties all the grays and blacks all together. So the stain they used here in the kitchen is the Jacobine. It's on the island, it's on the doors, the vent-hood, and also the mantle, so it kind of ties all the rooms together. Yeah, keeping with that warmer tone, like I said, and also it blends well with the flooring. For the backsplash we have here, it's called Shadow. It's from Floor & Decor. It's basically just a gray, kind of a glass type subway tile. It's real pretty. It complements the cabinets. The paint color on the cabinets here is a web gray. One thing you'll notice here, which is a little bit more unique on our cabinets, is for our refrigerator end cabinet, we actually have a little more of a decorative design. Now that's blending a little bit with the island cabinet because you've got that X pattern, but not always do we work this in here on the end of the cabinet. But here it adds a little bit more special touch as well as design for this particular layout. And like we've always said, is adding these refrigerator cabinets, it just helps to not have just a piece of appliance. It makes it a little bit more like a furniture piece and gives you a lot more storage above over the refrigerator.
It just looks more finished because it's tucked away in there.
So for all the appliances, we have a little bit different color going on here, but it kind of goes with the theme.
The appliances in this kitchen are all like a dark space gray. They're not the stainless steel that we're used to seeing, so they're real pretty and they blend in with everything we've got going on in the kitchen.
Yeah, I like these colors. I think that they match well with the backsplash and everything else we have going on here. Also, under our cabinets, we do have under cabinet lighting. You know, when you have a little more of a darker tones, you need as much light as you possibly can get. Of course, during the daytime, we have plenty of natural light, but at night, you know, when you're wanting to brighten things up a little bit, you still need light. So here we do have the under cabinet lights. Now, as we move over into this kitchen, we have a pantry.
Yes, we have a corner pantry, and I really like the setup on this one. It's kind of set up a little more like our cabinets, where the uppers are a little more shallow than the lower, so it almost feels like you have like a little bit of a counter space in there that you could put some bigger items on.
Yeah, that always lends to a little more personal or customizations whenever you're trying to lay out the shelving in those areas. But here it obviously is a little bit different, but I think it's going to work well. So also off of our main kitchen and living area, we have a little bit of a corridor which serves the locations of all of the other rooms in this downstairs living. The first thing that we have here is a little bit of a closet space here.
Yeah, just a small linen closet. It's just got shelving in there, but it's large enough that you could maybe put your vacuum cleaners and things like that in there as well.
And as we move through the hallway, we have our laundry area, and this is sort of a closet laundry, which is a little bit different than what we might normally have.
Yeah, they didn't make room for there to be a large laundry space, but it's great because you can kind of close the doors to it. It's put away.
And let's be honest, who wants to stay in the laundry
Who
room?
wants to hang out in the laundry room?
You know, it's just a place to stack up baskets and stuff like that. So, but here, I think the idea is maybe have a little bit older kids, not planning on doing a lot of laundry, hopefully. But we are out in the country, and I think clothes are still going to get dirty out here. Also, off this hallway, we have a full bathroom, which is here to serve the additional bedroom, as well as any company or guests that you might have over, you know, for a visit.
Yeah, so they did a little different on the colors in this room. They actually did like a blue subway tile on the shower that looks real pretty. Of course, they did the black faucets and hardware in here, and then they did like a navy stain on the cabinets in this bathroom.
Yeah, and I like always to trim the mirrors out when we can. Again, keeping with some of those warmer tones here. We've got a little bit of a darker feel, but I think it's classy and has a real nice feel to it when it comes to maintaining the theme throughout. So in the guest bedroom, it's a little bit typical size.
It's 11 by 12, so it's not super large, but it's a great size for our guests to stay.
Also, we have a walk-in closet, which is sort of our accustomed setup when it comes to cubbies in the center with the dual hanging storage on both sides. Okay, as we go down to the other side of the hall, this is the master suite, which has a little bit more of the same, but has a touch of special things going on in here too.
This master bedroom is a 14 by 12 in size. The walls and the ceilings are the same as throughout. They're the African gray. And then our door trim and baseboards are Sherwin-Williams cyberspace.
One of the things we didn't talk about, but we should add, is that this is sort of I think a typical setup the way we do in the door trim as well as the baseboards. These are just our 1x6s for the baseboards, and then we wrap the doors with the 1x4s with a 1x6 on the top. So this just adds a little bit more of that farm style feel, and those are all painted as far as the trim to match. So as we go into the master bathroom, let's talk about a little bit of the details we have going on here.
Sure, we have a double sink vanity in here, and we have the granite that matches the kitchen island. It's called St. Lucia, so it's got all the blacks, whites, and grays in it with all the black hardware and faucets.
And we have the under mount sinks, which are a rectangular. And then also we have the framed mirrors. And let's share with them a little bit of the details on the shower.
The flooring in this shower is just a black, smooth pebble stones that looks real pretty with just a dark gray grout.
Yeah, and it's almost like a transitionless shower, even though we do still have the lip for the tile itself, which is still really minimal, when it comes to access. But having the glass, which is a frameless glass, always is a nice touch whenever it just kind of makes everything shine and pop when you're looking in through this bathroom. So on the wall tile, I really like this setup. This is a Maltosino Irving Park Gray. It's got a warm gray grout. This is a nice touch when you're trying to go with a little bit of a darker color in your shower. And this is not the first time we've done these dark colors like this. If you remember back to our Clifton Barndominium, it had a really nice setup like that. Simple, but clean, and I like it. I really like it. Overall, this is a pretty comfortable bathroom. There's a lot of extra space. Also, we do have a linen cabinet over the toilet, which is always nice when you're needing extra storage for there. I think most of our viewers' favorite rooms of the house is the shop. So what's a barndominium without a shop? Everybody always says that. I think it is one of the main motivations sometimes. But that doesn't mean you can't have a barndominium without one.
Or a detached one, or add one later.
You might have plans later. So, but here like I said, we got it all. You guys stayed around for this. This is our shop. And as we go through the door going into the shop from the kitchen space, we do have some stair storage, which is underneath. Always trying to utilize that extra space here. We do have the water heater in this closet, which you can see where we have the zip, which divides the shop and the living space. This is our standard custom that we use for those dividing areas. On a closet like this, we don't go to special finishing details and things like that. We do cover the exterior walls, which we have wrapped in the burnished slate metal, which is a PBR style panel. This was a special request from our client because we don't do the metal in the shop areas like this very often as far as liner panels. Mostly what we do now is sheetrock. But here, they liked it, they wanted it, and we were able to make that available for them on this build. Also off the shop, we have a double utility sink, which is nice. Now, you would think it would stop there and you don't need a sink in the bathroom area, but we do have a shop bathroom, and this got added onto our plans because in our initial layout, you will not see this on there. They actually extended this landing. This was something that sort of an afterthought from the planning stages, but they did add this additional half bathroom here.
I'm so glad they did, because it's a great thing to have as a part of your shop space, because if you're going to have maybe a party or some kind of event in your shop, then people don't have to come into your home to use the restroom. It's right there. It's easy, accessible. It's a great place to make sure you put a shop.
Yeah,
restroom.
It's something that we always wish we would have done. It's just a convenience matter, like what you're saying. So where you don't have to send somebody up the stairs or inside the house to use the restroom. So this is a great idea. If you don't have a shop bathroom, it's something that we would highly recommend. Another thing to say that's a little more unique on this shop is there is some windows that bring in the natural light, not only through the upper windows, but we have the doorways, which we have 3 different access doors off of each side of the shop, which is a little bit different. And we have a pass-through where you can open up the overhead doors and get that breeze coming in.
Or drive all the way through.
Or come all the way through. I think it's a good feature when it comes to the shops. Now on the exterior, our clients also added some awnings over these doors as our recommendations. We always tell you guys overhangs and awnings, these kind of things really do help the longevity.
They kind of protect your windows and your door space from water coming through.
And of course it does have some aesthetically pleasing sides to it.
It gives you a dimension to your to otherwise square building. Kind of adds like almost a porch feature.
Now on the exterior, we also did add some additional aprons. When it comes to concrete, this was something that they did add on here of late with a little more sidewalk and all of these things that are crucial to their flow and however they're wanting to use this property. There's quite a bit going on out here, and I think with their plans, we don't know what they're looking to do on the daily when they get out here. But if you're going to enjoy the porch, you might want to have a sidewalk that goes to it. So that's what they did.
So you're not walking through the mud.
Right, and that's what they did. They added that here. And a nice porch here on the front of this build. This is a 10 by 40. And as you can see, we do have the closed soffits, all these things that are kind of standard in nature to us, continuing with the burnished slate throughout on this build. Now, as we go upstairs, there is some really good options here. Now, this is an upgrade type of a thing. This is not something you can easily do because you have to add the support that's necessary for your ceiling joists below. But on this particular build, our clients added all of this floor joist system so that they could have storage and potentially additional living area upstairs. Now, they made provision for having additional plumbing as well that is buried in the ceiling joists, and we've identified those areas where they can make access to that later. This is really the true advantage of building a barndominium. You know, you have the free span, and when you are building below, none of that is load bearing. So everything that goes up above that space could be additional area for living later. And so here in like of our, say, Waxahachie build that we did many years ago, the 1,250 square foot barndominium, they added all this storage up here, and you can just frame this out later, or and it's fully insulated because we have our envelope. But another thing that they did is they went ahead and added the air conditioning upgrades to where this is dampered and they can actually have a zoned HVAC area up here. So that's just like what our clients did.
And it's definitely something you want to plan ahead for, because if you have any intention for that, it's a whole lot easier to add it on the front end than to try to go back and do it later. So.
Right. It's not going to be easy later because you'd have to go in on top and try to add those load supports over all of that. So it can be done, but it's definitely, you don't want to be remodeling later if you could do it now. And at this point, they can utilize all that space for plenty of storage in whatever capacity that they want to. Lastly, I'll say that they do have really wide stairs coming up and down. And I think this will enable them to bring any type of furniture or whatever they would like up here. Okay, guys, that pretty much covers it for the tour video on this Tower Ranch barndominium. It's always our pleasure to finish these projects up for our clients because all of the planning and everything that's gone into effect for us to be here and do this work, it's now come down to their part to where they can take possession, do what they need to do. So we are happy to gift them their first home, welcoming gift?
Housewarming gift.
Housewarming gift, which is a bouquet of flowers by none other than Mrs. Brandy here. And so we are so thankful for these clients, and we're happy for them as they, I think they're coming in from out of state. So they're going to be moving here and looking towards retirement. All these types of things. What better place to do than to come to Texas? Yeah. Buy 100 acres and move to Texas.
There you go.
So I think it's awesome. So congratulations to them. And if you guys, put in the comments below, you have any additional questions or, anything that we might have missed that you want to know about, let us know in the comments below. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do that now. We need your support so we can keep making awesome videos for you guys. Also, if you haven't already, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of those things. I'm Josh Helm.
And I'm Brandy Helm.
We're wishing you all the best, and thanks for watching Texas Best.